y'all stop, bro? Alright, we gotta wake him up. Y'all ready?
How do we wake him up?
Oh! He just knocked it out. What else should I try? This? Loud music? Let's do loud music. Yo, what's good, Gio? Wake up, Chuchel. Wake up, Chuchel. Wake.
How about we touch him?
Oh. Bruh, he don't wake up for nothing. Let's try this one. He squash us. Let's turn TV on. Bruh. Let's drop a bottle. Oh, let's pour water on him, yeah. Can't stop this. Wait, what? What's going on here? Alright, that did not work like I thought it was going to. Bruh, how many slippers he got? There's no way. Alright, let's try the big boy. Oh! Bruh, he's unstoppable. What else do we have? Him? Oh. He just went into the box now. Oh, I gotta do the water again. That's what it's telling me. Look what? It's not letting me do nothing. This looks crazy. It's some comedy adventure game where you gotta solve. We wake him up! Finally! Chuchel, why it took you so long? He loves cherries. Ah! A giant monkey stole our cherry! Give it back, give it back! That evil monkey! Oh! Now monkey got us! What the? Hey, give me my cherry. Uh-oh, I think this is a trap. Should I click on it?
No.
So what should I do? That's the only thing I could do.
No,
Here we are. What's the? Ew, that's ugly. Oh, I kicked him. Hey, give me my cherry. I'm gonna kick you again. Get over here. Huh? Ha! Tricked ya, loser. Oh, the monkey again. I think that was level 1 puzzle. All right, Cinco, it's your turn. You gotta figure out how to get the cherry. Alright. You could climb it or you could shake it. Uh-oh. Whoa, whoa. Oh, you're gonna get squished. You're gonna get squished. Oh. What? He's dragging the whole tree? Oh, no, not this guy again. This guy is annoying. Oh! Push him with the tree! Ew, what the? What kind of thing is that? I want to 3D print Chuchel now. Ew! It's inside his head. What you want to do? Talk to him or run up him? They speak like minions. What happened? Throw him up there, yeah. Oh, you could bounce on them, okay. Now pull that. Oh! You ripped a hole in his head. Oh! Don't do that again. Oh no. Oh wait, I think it might work this time. Oh. Oh! Ew! He ate it. Wait, hold on. Try running. Wait. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see.
The sign.
Oh yeah, wait.
That was the sign.
No, we don't need him to run away. We need to get the cherry out of him. The cherry is stuck inside his head. Alright, we're not strong enough. Oh, look at our arms now. Oh, back to regular. Okay. Oh, sign. What is he telling him? What the? Nice, nice. Now we can take the sign out. Alright, you could continue. Pick it up or...
Now what to do?
What? Now you gotta bounce up there. Oh yeah, or do that. Oh no, bounce. Bounce on this. It'll make you go higher. Now jump on that. Yeah! Let's go. Hey! We're supposed to be teammates now.
Where's the dolphin?
What the?
The target.
Those things are creepy looking. That looks like a scary Patrick. Alright, Jaden's turn. Come on. Jaden's turn. Hold on. Okay. Alright, hold on. Alright, look, it's your turn. We gotta get the... We gotta try and get the cherry.
What? That is too sweet.
Throw him at it. Hey-ya! Oh!
We have to time it.
We gotta do better timing. Why are they fighting with each other? Hey, come back. What? Bruh, ain't no way. Oh! Ta-da!
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I think he's about to come back out. Oh! Now we turned into that? Great. This is what we gotta do for the rest of our life. Bruh. Alright, my turn. Good job, Jaden. You beat it.
What the heck?
Why, I need me one of these. Which one should I take?
That one.
This one?
No.
This one?
No.
This one?
Yeah.
No, I want this one.
It's so big.
Come on. Let's fly. Woo! Jaden, you stink. You farted on me, bruh. Oh, look. I can fly for real. Oh, I went too high. Ouch. Oi. Oof. Oi, oi. Oi, oof. Oi. Oh, too many. Oh. Oi, oh, 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 oof. Oi, oof. Oi, oh. Oi. Whoa. Let me in.
What the?
Let me in.
How they are in the house?
Oh no, too high. House. No, 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 no. Go, go, go. Alright, I'm gonna get it. Here we go. Let me in.
Hey, God.
Alright. No! Ay, ay, ay. Alright.
How do we get
Oh.
out of the monkey? We have to fight the monkey.
Leave me alone. I just want to go this way. Okay. Oh, yes. Yay.
That's a piece.
Wait, up again. Okay. Oh, oh, wait. Hey. I'm almost there. Come on. Come on. What the? Now we upside down. This is creepy. What the? Oh! Who made Who made this game? No!
They put you out. What?
Oh, please don't tell me more of them. No!
That was, I told you the tiny one.
What the? Okay, I have to get eaten on this one.
More!
I thought they would spit me out over there. Yay! Whoa, creepy nighttime.
Oh, you're in space. Oh, I think that one's me.
How far we gotta fly? Flying for my whole life.
What is me? What is me?
This is you.
That's
This is all of us. Oh my gosh.
I want to check if the monkey's there.
The monkey? Ooh, ooh. Monkey's still there.
What?
The monkey is everywhere.
Astronaut monkey.
Space monkey. Yay, finally. Alright, your turn next. You can go.
What? What? It's on there.
He just pooped us out.
No, he didn't. Oh, so he tried to shake.
Get the cherry.
Huh?
This is our cherry. Why do you keep trying to take it from us? It was oh, the cherry rip. It's a cherry bomb. Get the other piece. Click the other piece. Oh no. Yeah.
I clicked it. And it didn't work. Ooh, it's good. I think Joey is a bomber. What?
All right.
No way.
Oh no, it's Gary.
We'll let you on jump on him. I think it's weird.
He said, hi.
No, you can't hear it.
What the heck is that?
Oh, what that is here? Don't you see
He's a
it?
world-class cherry baker. What now? Ah!
That.
Which one? Oh, arcade. You about to play Pac-Man.
Go ahead. Here.
That's Pac-Man.
Hey, Gordon.
Was that his butt? Was that the snail's butt?
How do you know it's happening?
Because I saw the symbol. Bruh!
Wait, what?
You can't let him eat you.
It was eating. It was eating.
Gotta get the cherry in it. Oh, you should have just got the cherry first. You gotta wait for him to turn it into cherries and then you eat them. You gotta get this one. Go back in here and make him go all the way around. Ah. Ah.
You got it. That doesn't look like Pac-Man.
That looks like scary furry Pac-Man.
Yeah, there's two of them. Ooh, what's that potion?
I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna wait.
Oh, what? There's two of them. There's two of them.
I'm gonna wait.
There's chasing them.
Uh-huh.
Look.
Ah!
Whoa, that's scary. They got scared. Now you don't have to be scared.
I think they come back, I thought. In regular Pac-Man, they do at least. Yeah, see?
What's on the back?
Ah! Oh! Oh! I dodged him. I almost got him. That was a good dodge. Alright. Got two more cherries to get. Oh.
How much lives
Alright.
do we have?
I think it's infinite because I don't see nothing. How many levels is it? Oh!
Oh,
It's gonna be the craziest one.
it's the wheel! Damn! Oh, I did what? Eat all of them! They ate it. It's like chocolate.
In big hairy letters.
They can let it? They can let it.
Ah!
Wait, ooh,
Ah!
special.
on, go down. Yeah, eat all of them.
There's so many cherries. And
Too many cherries.
that was the 20. It's one. Not this one. There's two. I think if you eat more potions, the more time you have. What the? Yum. Yum, yum. This one. Don't have any more.
Yes, I do.
One. It will be my turn and your turn. It will be three of us. It's us. Go up there. Go see the monkey in there.
I don't want to see the monkey.
He's in there?
No. He probably just thinks if I go up, it'll show the monkey. Sometimes this doesn't go where I'm trying to make it go.
What's that? It's supposed to be a food
Not messed up.
but what is that? Actually,
Bruh, go where I'm trying to make you go. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Run. They saw you about a weapon.
Ah! One more cherry.
Why do you kind of look like a duck?
Bro, I did not click up. Bro, they be mad at me. They just be making me go random places. I did not click up.
There we go.
That's it forever. Let's go. He's gonna help us now?
What's that? What's that? You got to
What?
why are you waiting? That was me. And that was me. And that's me. And that's me.
Alright, that's not gonna work. We gotta play every game. Alright, this one's Tetris. You ready? The other one is Alien Shooter.
What do we do?
Don't get squished. Watch out. I told you don't get squished. That's the whole point. Yeah.
How do you make that one?
Watch out.
It's Look me again.
Move from there. Why are you staying in that corner?
Because I go on that thing. I will be so good.
Bomb! 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 What the? Watch out! They're trying to make that one squish you. Whatever you do, don't go back in that corner. They blow up in order that they fall. No, the other way. Alright, I think that's the end. This is the big bomb. Oh, cherry. Get to the cherry. Yay! Let's go.
Look! That was not him holding the claw. I got saved.
Alien blaster. You ready?
What?
You gotta do. Oh, we gotta turn to that color and hit them. Yeah.
Why?
Oh, crap.
And that's the boom, boom, boom. What's that? What's that? Now this is more. Bunny! Evil bunny. Yeah. Hey, what's the deal? What is those? Those green.
Oh, they fighting back now.
Maybe they are turtles. Turtles?
Oh, man.
God.
Oh, I could go that way. Oh. Oh, he hit me back. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, sucker.
It got me. Look. What can make me wet? It went away.
Oh.
What's his chip?
Uh-oh, boss fight. Oh, man.
Yeah, big monster.
Boy.
Big monster. I have idea. Go in.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. I tried to do it. It didn't work. Oh, I gotta jump ahead of him like that. Ah! Ah!
It's a big
We win!
Yeah, we win. We got the deal.
Alright. Can you help us get this cherry down?
No way, no, no, though.
Oh, I think I was supposed to buy that button, not the drink. Now I think. Oh, never mind.
Now he's the one.
Bruh.
Now he's the
Oh man. Okay, I don't have to play the game again at least. I could buy that button. But maybe this time I want to try some of this.
Hey, he's so greedy.
He is so greedy.
Why is he so greedy?
I don't know.
Hey, what's that? It's just that tingle.
Oh no, where did this snail go? Oh, he ran away. You gotta use the bathroom? Hmm?
What the? What? That? What the?
I thought that was a button. Oh, now I could do this. Because I got frolic arm.
No, he got gorilla.
That looks like a lint ball to me.
Now it's more.
Gorilla lint ball. No way. Oh, I'm about to say.
Whoa! What the hell? What the hell is that little here?
Boy! Stop being so mean, gorilla. Oh, great. We didn't want this ugly guy back. This naked mole rat. It's a party, 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 it's a party. Don't you do it, mister. That's my cherry. Hey! X marks the spot. If we take it off, something's gonna happen. Something bad. Oh yeah, take it off and put him on. What? See ya. Don't you leave. You stay. No, no, no. You stay right. No. We got crushed by our own name. Now we are Harry you.
Harry Monkey.
Ew. What the?
Those look like tiny sweat.
What? No means allowed?
Maybe you have to disguise it.
Sorry.
Maybe they have to eat you. Wait, where is his eyes? That was so cute. So, always have to fight so a big yellow stick. Like boom, 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 boom. Like boom. And then he fall to the water. That way, like that was the rules. So we have to get the shoe. That's why I was watching. That's why I was watching Penny.
Mm-hmm.
And Penny's like,
Oh, I thought you was gonna climb it, not try to pick it up. Alright, let me take you over here.
Lead it to him.
Oh,
Maybe, and then, yeah.
alright, let me see if I do what you said. This. Oh! Boy!
But he doesn't have to know. Purple. Oh, yeah, I have to put
I have to get these somehow.
How?
Oh, shake it. Oh, I have to shake it.
When we do it like, maybe he could do it like that and flip him. That way. And where's the orange one?
The orange one is over here. On this side. Oh, I didn't know I was gonna eat it. I thought I was gonna take it with me. Alright. Hey, it's not this guy, it's me, a chicken. I'm a chicken, I'm not that guy. I'm just a little chicken. Yeah, he likes my chicken dance. So, now what?
Now let's turn it like a happy one.
Oh! Boy!
I didn't know it was
Try this one. Oh! 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 There's so many of us. Uh-oh. Hey! Why are you eating all of them? And you ate me! Annoying. Let's try this.
what the?
Bruh.
Wait, maybe
Now
we
I'm
should
just
fly
a
over there.
roly-poly-oly.
Maybe you can fly over there.
Fly over where?
To the thing. Fly.
Oh!
It's an orange one. You have to fight them. That way, you have to fight them. You have to. You have to fight them.
Oh!
My bear was.
Why'd he throw that at me, you little dweeb?
Maybe it was what the. Look.
Ah, okay.
It says something.
Maybe now.
Feel the spiders?
Okay. I could make 4 of them quiet.
I got an idea.
What?
I can make more of it.
Make more of myself? Which one was the make more of myself? The blue?
It's the green one.
Oh, I was about to say, oh no, I'm not strong enough for that.
This is the green one.
What the heck?
Question.
Oh wait, I meant to do. I don't think it was the green one. I think it was this one. Lurking while gaming, appreciate you.
You have to beat that guy.
Bruh. Alright, which one turned me into a spider again?
What? What, Mama? That was the craziest. Huh? The green one. I told you.
Bruh. That did not make me into. Alright, let's see.
Give it to the pink. The orange one. Give it to them.
This one?
Yeah.
Huh? The creeper body. Those are just to hold it. Those are just. Gotta peel it off.
Oh. Keep on, got it.
Can you fix it?
Oh, we are making that. Then we could play that.
Oh no.
That one, and that one makes him. What is this?
Chuckle.
Chuckle.
Alright. How did we turn to a spider again?
Which one?
Orange one?
Yeah.
No, I just ate the orange one.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Give it to green one.
Think though, I literally just ate the orange one and it turned me into this. Oh my gosh, bro. You don't listen.
Let's go and check it now.
Was not.
No. Yeah, it was.
So now what? What is this telling us?
Oh, you have to feed it to that thing.
Feed what? I can. It doesn't give me that option. When I click on it, it makes me eat it. That's it. It doesn't give me no option to give it to him. Are you listening or no?
That one is what? That one's white.
There's no option to carry it. Like I just said, when I click it, it makes me eat it.
I didn't say carry it. I said carry
Alright, Tinko, you
it.
being annoying now. Just be quiet.
No, guys, the well. They say no guys the well.
Yeah, no guys allowed.
But not by the well. No.
Can I make this one eat it?
Not by the well. Maybe not by the well. Not by the well. But was another well. In the well. That's a D. Yeah. A D is the easiest.
That's not what you said,
Yes,
Tika.
sir.
You did not say that. You did not, so just stop, bro. Oh! Oh, wait, not that one. Oh, but we both could make them be quiet now. I wonder what's the point of making them be quiet.
Maybe it helps them and then it's gonna be nice.
Oh, wait.
Now it's your turn. It's time to be up. You eat the orange one, huh? Uh-oh.
Would you eat one of those? Which one would you eat? I would eat the one to make me fluffy.
The one to make more.
Oh!
Now
He fell asleep. Oh no, we can't move because it's snoring. Oh, really, monkey? That's so annoying.
He likes the chili.
Why did it show for me to feed something to him? What's the hint? We didn't even have to talk. They want to feed to other ones. Okay, good time. You gotta fight Jelly Man.
Yeah, they got the yellow man. He's really mad.
Ah, he's a bully.
He's a bully. Don't see a bully. Me too. He's on a plate. He's food. Look, he's gonna eat it. Oh.
Well, it made him sad. Bully!
Bully!
What are you doing? No. He ate it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, eat us, eat us. Oh.
Now he won't eat us. He won't eat us.
Oh.
Now we got it.
Bruh, how he could just float through? Alright, Jaden's turn. Oh my god, that was fast.
Huh? What? 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 Miss? What?
Oh, oh. Ew. He spit a fried egg on us. Huh? There's a chicken in there. Oh! Crazy alien chickens! What? He got a hat? Hanky's turn.
It's a bigger one.
They both fell in love. He said, forget that one. I want the big one. Oh, this one has eyes. Oh, it ate us.
Yeah, it does. One kid when
Oh, I'm like, what's taking so long?
now does.
Give me my other part of my body back.
This hat.
Hey, stop jumping on me.
We don't need it. Now get his hat. Get the children.
Oh, that's not ours. That's Abraham Lincoln. Hey, that's not ours. Hey, that's Cowboy. Hey, that's what? That's what? How many hats you ate? Our hat looks like our Hershey's kiss. Cinco's turn.
The first thing I see is catapult. Come here.
Boy, you gotta pull it back. No, wait. See if they let you walk back. You see? Or you gotta hold it maybe and pull it. Hold on. Yeah, see? You gotta hold it and pull yourself back. Ooh. Alright, not that far back. Here. Go that far back. Right there, right there, right there, right there. Oh, still too far. A little bit, go a little bit. Oh, a little bit more than that.
Come here again. Now what's that?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Man.
And the wind.
Then you gotta make him land on. Oh, wait. Okay. You gotta hit that one and make him hit that. Wait for it to come back. Go. Oh, you missed.
So cool.
You gotta just go like that. Wait for it to come back. Come on, hurry up, load it up. Almost. Oh, another one.
I think that was the flying one. That's the flying one. That's the flying one. So that's the flying one. It can fly everywhere. It can fly backwards. Yeah, you see it.
Alright, but it's not the one you need to hit. You gotta hit the flying one. It's over here, I think.
Not like that. Like this.
Oh, we got to turn it over.
And it will push. Maybe to go the other one for water. Maybe it was the backwards.
Oh, that worked.
Oh, it's a triangle.
You could go again, but I finished that one.
My turn.
It's gonna be your turn next.
Huh?
Hold on, Jaden, hold on. You're gonna go next. Go, Cinco.
This was a monster. I didn't invite it. I didn't invite it.
Oh no.
Now she's fighting. What? Now there's no more. He's really hungry. He's squeezing.
Whoa, muscles.
The guy, the blue one.
Gotta get in the green. Knock him out.
How do I do that?
Probably gotta click your machine again. Punch, punch. Boy. Oh, he's whacking you up.
Go to the chain.
Go the other way, go the other way. Go backwards. Keep going. Oh, you can't go no more.
Oh no.
Alright, go. You gotta fight. Oh, you gotta just not get so close. You gotta go back and forth, punching. And you could keep yourself balanced.
I think you need to jump. You have to jump.
Oh.
You have to jump. You have to jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, how come he didn't fall out? Yeah. Uh-oh.
Now the fighting is
I've been playing Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia is a fire game. I played that a long time ago.
What's that mean?
It's a video.
Now the broken body.
Bruh, they broken.
And this kind looks like that.
Boy, just go get the cherry. Oh my gosh.
Now he got the
Too busy
shoe.
fighting. Alright, Jaden's turn. Jaden's turn with the scary. The new one? I never heard about no new Prince of Persia.
Uh-oh. Look. Duck. Where's the other?
Hey, give me my hat back. That's not your eyeball. That's not the cherry. That's not your chin hair. Hey, get off of me. I'm not your head. 2 months ago? I never heard about that.
Yes. Now he got everything.
All that hard work just for this little stinky rat to come over here. So annoying. Hankray's turn.
Yeah, you could do it, Henry. But how are you could do it?
Ew. Why'd you lick that? So he's gonna press it. We got some music. We got some music. We got some music. We got a different hat. We got a different hat. Looking good. What the? What happened to my cherry? What the? Huh? Huh? That mushroom spitting though. Ah! What the? He licked the mushroom. Well, let's lick the cactus, right? Hey, can I get that cherry on top of your head? That's my cherry. Can I have it? You don't speak English? Oh! Ow! Why would you kick him? You should throw it at the mushroom. What was the other option for the mushroom? What the?
Why does his eyes go white?
Oh! That's what you get for making fun of him. Let's put a different hat on. Huh. Now the penguin is rapping.
Ooh, icicle.
Oh! Scary snowman.
That one's different. Give me that mushroom. That one looks like craziest.
Let's see what they want me to do. Take a shower.
No, they want you to eat that.
Now he gotta go pee.
What are you gonna do in the snow? Oh.
And pee on the snowman.
Gotta wash his hands.
I don't get it. What they want me to do? Drink the water. And then what? Maybe on the cactus? Oh! Instantly frozen. My tongue gonna get stuck. I knew it. Ew!
What?
Look at his tongue. Alright, let's put this back on. Let's drink this water. Wait, what's this? Take a bath. Ew!
There's a big beard now. It's drinking the bath. That was pee. Now he needs a pee. Why do we have my friends? There's more people. Oh, it's a cat.
Huh?
He's gonna make them dance.
Oh!
Oh.
No! Don't want to do that.
Wait, is it going last longer because there's more people?
Alright. Maybe I gotta turn the music on now.
It doesn't see his tail.
Yeah, he does. Alright. Music is on now. Okay, now they dancing and singing. Oh, oh. I'm supposed to hold it.
Understand.
Okay, I can do that though. That disappears. Oh. Aw, man. Music stopped.
Where's his friend? Where's his friend?
I don't know, dude. What they want me to do? Boy. Now I can get my cherry. That's his friend. The bully friend.
Run away!
Boy, you're messing me up. Think of the turn.
Maybe the hammer could work. Whack-a-mole.
What the blue, yellow, green? Me?
That was the eye.
Uh-oh.
Here's the blue. Here's the blue.
Alright, Jaden's turn. Jaden, go use the bathroom. Cause you keep touching yourself. Go use the bathroom. Go this way. Go use the bathroom. Go, go, go. Think we could beat this game in one day? Think it's too many puzzles? Go! He didn't like the cake. Do you like TV?
TV?
Oh. Okay, he kinda like TV. Music? Bruh. He doesn't like music. Candy? Oh, hypnotized. Hypnotized. You wash your hands?
Yeah.
Cats?
I like your one.
Why do we have a cat in our hat? Uh-oh, the cat didn't like him. I'm trying to be friendly. Want me to be angry with you? Yeah, get out of here, you stinky alien.
He's coming. The purple guy's coming.
Grab the cherry, hurry, come on. Let me click it.
Hi, purple guy.
Oh, great. Another alien. I'm gonna punch him. Put him up, put him up, put him up. Put him up. Come on, put him up. Oof. Okay, can't beat him up. Use a cannon. What you gotta say now, Pinky? Bruh. Are you kidding me? Now it blew up.
What did God get? What is that?
Dinosaur!
Wait, a dinosaur?
Oh. Really, dinosaur? You squished us?
It's a zombie dinosaur.
Lightsaber. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh.
Now there's one. Look, I saw the
Oh, he's allergic. Hit the chair. No way. Now we about to go up in the... Oh, we can't even get in there. Bomb. Uh-oh. Throw it. Boy. Boomerang. Airplane. Pet. Oh no. Arrow. Nothing worked. Hey. Scissors. Bruh, how is that a balloon? Exactly.
Now he got it. Because when the arrow hit it, the rock was exploded.
I thought it would come this way if I did that. You made a million things fall out the sky. Finally. Ain't no way. Destructible.
That's not going. What? That's not going.
Where'd he go?
He was hiding.
Okay, awkward. Aiden, sit back.
I like that one.
You like that cloud?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Wow.
Jaden, sit back.
That was the orange one. What's that? Wait, where did you go? Not the two.
Found ya. Boy, outer space, really? Go leave it. second too early. Too late. Got him.
I did it. I did it.
Bruh, imagine you could shoot a spitball that far, all the way to the moon. Ah, the moon's falling on us.
It was shaking everything. They can. Why doesn't he just let him have his find a difference? Persistent hand! No! Okay.
Ah. Hey, give us our hand back. Gotta take our legs and everything now. Hold on, Jaden, hold on.
Down. Oh yeah, I saw this one. I was watching
Jaden, sit up.
We're trying to on the way down. What is that? You're supposed to do something with this tongue. You're supposed to do something with that. Those babies go woo woo.
Alright, Jaden, wake up. Keep pulling.
That's the solution. It's not done yet.
Depends.
Wait, do we? Why do you take the pot off? You can have what?
Put something in here, but you take it
Dad.
out.
Dad.
Take this out.
Maybe do it.
Get that.
Is that the head? And what's that? What did those are? No. Let's put the dog on me. No, that isn't.
Go get me a fork. In the drawer underneath the microwave.
How will we do it? How will we win the game?
That's good. What if they do that?
Let's break it. Huh? What's that? Break it.
She doors for tweezers. What is that? No, put it in the drawer.
What? Yeah. Huh? That's not gonna work. I think we put him in
It didn't stop. Alright, step 1. Put something on top of this thing. Make it hit the tongue.
I think that's the little.
Wait. Something goes here. Something goes here to hit the tongue.
I think I know what
And it bounces to this.
Make that.
Can't even grab those, so it gotta be one of these. Alright, then you gotta go in the chair, because my legs are getting tired. Go sit in your chair right here.
There's a big guy.
You gotta wait. Wait, something is supposed to go. Ew. Oh, now. Okay. Oh, now I can put some. Thank you.
What did you do? Is he doing I have an idea. Maybe
I do not get this. Why do we make this like this? I don't know, Cinco. I can't get this out. I don't know why they made this like this. Maybe it's supposed to be like this? I don't know. It doesn't look like that in this one, though. I don't know how I get this all the way on with that thing in the middle.
I thought you got work.
What?
I thought you got work.
No, it's just breaking off, not coming up.
I will.
That's the best I could do. Bruh, literally 1 second happened. I said, do not keep pushing it. Who's gonna break the pin?
What are you gonna do? Upside down, do upside down. Let me see.
Alright, now what?
Now we back Sunday.
What do?
What you won't do? Make me fight. What?
Huh?
On what? On this?
Kari kysy kaikkiin se vaan pöydä, vai juoda siinä tänne. Pedi vara jesi.
What I gotta do?
Huh? Quack. Quack, quack.
Watch out. Get in your chair, Jaden. Yeah, that's your jacket. What? Jaden, you don't need your jacket. It's just on the chair. I don't know what to do.
What? You.
Quack, quack. Quack, quack.
Wait. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, the frog ate him. This one ate the other one.
Maybe you gotta jump and then you gotta put the frog.
Huh?
You gotta put the frog. And then
Quack, quack.
yeah.
Quack, quack. Quack.
Oh. Okay. So.
Quack, quack. Quack.
It's too heavy.
Quack, quack.
You got me.
Quack. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Quack. Quack.
Oh, that's too bad.
Quack.
Yeah, how do I do this?
Quack. Quack, quack.
But you need to wait.
Quack, quack. Quack. Quack.
It doesn't make me fly.
Doesn't make you fly.
Huh?
From me.
Make him eat the big one?
No.
Quack, quack. Quack. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. 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 Quack.
Watch myself?
Quack, quack. Quack, quack.
All done, Jaden. All done.
Quack, quack. Quack. Quack.
Get behind.
Oh, just end it here.